Shuks.
Gamma.
Firstly, congratulations on that test victory. I feel like we always talk about the players' accolades and what it means for them to win test matches, to win test series. But we rarely talk about what it means for you as a coach. I mean, you've got a test series victory in the Caribbean. You are about to close one in Bangladesh. You know, and the first coach to win a test match in Bangladesh in a decade. You know, what does it mean for you as a coach?
Obviously, personally, yes, it's gratifying and satisfying, but they've got it right. It is about the players, you know. I've never seen a TV camera in a change room or supporters sit in a viewing area applaud the coach whenever we win a game. But yeah, it is satisfying. But I'm so happy for the guys and proud of them. And at the end of the day, it should always be about the players and never about the coach or the coaching staff even. You know, I mean, we've got some wonderful coaches on our coaching staff. And it's been a really good combined effort from everybody involved, but ultimately the players, I mean, they can hold their heads held high. And yeah, be very proud of what they've actually achieved here.
Thanks, Ngama. Johan?
Good morning, Shuks. What was most pleasing for you about the match?
Hi, Johan. Yeah, I think the most pleasing for me was just the calmness that we showed throughout. When we bowled them out for 106 and then got ourselves into a little bit of trouble, or we were in a little bit of trouble, but even in the trouble that we were in, just the calmness that the guys showed out, there was nothing frantic about it. There was no panic shots played or anything like this. And when conditions got easier for batting, and Kyle and Vesey first, and then Kyle and Pietie showed us, and again, the calmness that we showed when we started out, and when things were going against us and they were playing particularly well. But most importantly, just the calmness and intent that we showed when we chased down a total that you should be getting 9.5 times out of 10. But I was really pleased just with the manner in which we went about our business. Very calm, clear in terms of what our game plans were as a team and as individuals. So that for me was really the standout, Johan.
Thanks, Johan. Nathan?
Thank you, Lucy. Firstly, congratulations, Coach. Coach, you've had some tough moments not being able to use your senior players and some success as well as coach of the test side. Where would you rank this win with all your games as coach thus far, especially in subcontinent conditions?
Yeah, look, I think it's every win is right up there, and the last win in the West Indies was probably our best win, and before that it was India. So every win is particularly special, but this one is really special. The South African side hasn't won a test match here in 10 years. So for us, we take a lot of comfort in that. But yeah, look, we're certainly not going to be looking to sit on our lead, and we're certainly not going to bask in the glory of that victory too much. We had a good celebration yesterday into last evening, and then we leave tomorrow for Chattergram, and then it will be business as usual. But yeah, every test win is really special. But yeah, I've got to be honest, if I were to rank one, yesterday was right up there, and I'm sure but not so much for me, but for the guys, you know, for the players, and chatting to Polly also after the game and HD, and they were really tough for us as well.
Thanks for those.
As it Shuks, I don't know if you're watching what's going on elsewhere in the sub, but India were bowled out quite cheaply this morning, and Pakistan also struggling a bit there. Do you think that things are sort of changing in that people have learned how to win in the subcontinent again? And if so, you know, what has changed?
I think players, I mean, teams prepare better coming to the subcontinent, and again, there were some raised eyebrows as to us not having a warm-up game here and whatever. I just felt that we could prepare better where we were and almost in extreme conditions. And I think the same with New Zealand and England, you know. Teams just prepare better. And maybe the art of batsmanship has not only left certain teams. What we found is that whilst they prepare spinning wickets here, doesn't equal them being the greatest players of spin. And I think we're finding the same in England, in India, and in Pakistan now as well, So whilst they feel it's still their best way of attacking teams from outside of the subcontinent, their host batting has also let themselves down. So I think batsmanship globally has taken a bit of a hit. Not only the playing of seam, but certainly in the subcontinent, the playing of spin as well.
Thanks for those. Percival, we'll look to wrap with the Afrikaans question, so I'll just cut across to Telford.
Thanks, Lucy. How's it, Shukri? Through no fault of your own, you didn't really get the chance to play Test cricket, but you're in a unique position here as the coach of a Test team. And can you tell us civilians, are you struck by how difficult is it to engineer a victory at this level and in this format and in conditions like these?
I'm going to say this very tongue-in-cheek, Telford. I don't know what the big fuss was 10 years, No, on a serious note. I think it's all about the belief that you can actually come here. There's a belief in your skill set. There's an understanding of how you're going to go about it. And then from a coach and from a coaching staff perspective is to allow them that freedom, They're going to make mistakes along the way, and almost for us to be comfortable with certain mistakes. As long as the mistake doesn't sit in a mental corner. If it's an execution, we're comfortable with that. If it's technical, we can work on that. But we've really driven the mental side of things in terms of a strong mentality, a strong desire, both with bat and with ball. And we've gone to great lengths to free the guys up in terms of whatever the game plan is, whatever you're comfortable doing, every single one of us, players, management, coaching staff, everybody, we're going to back that to the hilt, and we're going to allow you to do what you do. And I think that brings clarity, it brings calmness to a unit. And that for me, like I said earlier, was probably the most gratifying thing, is there's just the calmness. And even in the celebrations, nothing was over the top. It's almost as if we expected to do really well, and I'm not being windgat in any way here. And it's a young, inexperienced, well, not a young, but inexperienced unit. But we still need our leaders, and our superstar Rolls-Royce fast bowler. He led from the front there with the ball. He carried this attack, as he has done for quite a while now, and then backed up by some really valuable contributions by others with the ball, and then guys with the bat as well.
Thanks. Nathan, we'll give you a go just towards the back end as well, so we're just going to go to Keenan.
Thanks, Lucy. Hi, Shukri. Just with regards to, you've obviously won now, and then you've got one more game in Bangladesh, and then Pakistan and Sri Lanka at home at the end of the year. Just, do you have an eye on the World Test Championship and making that final? And we've heard you and Aiden also previously speak about belief, as that belief has sort of like transcended into sort of the future and your goals into reaching that step.
Yeah, obviously, you've got lofty goals that you set yourself, and we all want to get into a final, or maybe we should change that. We all want to win the World Test Championship, but we do know that there's some hard graft that's going to have to be done along the way, and that first Test match was the first one that we needed to put in the hard graft, and then tomorrow we go to Chattogram, and we know that's going to be really tough. And we're going to have to play particularly good cricket, and if we get a great result there, then great, and then we move on to Sri Lanka. But yes, the World Test Championship, that's our World Cup, but we do understand that we're certainly not going to be building any sandcastles, and we're certainly not going to have any pie in the sky in terms of, but we've got to allow yourself to dream as well, and then give yourself the chance of realizing that dream. But it's going to take a lot of graft, and we're a long way away from that still. We've got to take care of Chattogram, play really good cricket, and then hopefully get on the right side of the result there.
Thanks. We're going to go Mark, then Stu.
Good morning. I had the same question as Keenan, but if I could just press you on that, I mean, how would you rate your chances then of getting to that WTC final?
Mark, we've got to have a good chance. I don't know if Dose is the expert on this. I think it's 4 out of remaining 5 or whatever it is. and you've got to fancy your chances back home. I might have said it at an earlier presser or something, where we're coming to Bangladesh as underdogs, and we got a really good result. We probably go into the next test match having firmed slightly in the odds. But when we get back home, we start as favourites. You know, you're not expected to beat them, but you actually firm favourites to beat two teams from the subcontinent in home conditions. So to answer your question, Mark, I think, our odds have definitely firmed in the betting markets. And we need to start playing like favourites as well. It's probably easier playing as an underdog. But I think we've got a good little thing going here with this unit. But we're certainly not going to get ahead of ourselves in any way.
Fido's popped a message in the chat panel to say it is indeed 4 out of 5.
Thanks, Fido's.
Stu?
Thanks, Lucy. Hi, Shuks.
Hello, Stewie.
Just on one particular guy, this is a double barrel question here. You didn't hesitate when you were asked at the HPC about Vian playing this test match. What have you seen from him that has made you so confident in what he provides to the team? And this is the second question, is, Marco has been through what he's going through, but he'll be back in the side, I presume, for the home tests. How does Vian fit in with Marco? Do they play together?
Oh, they could do. And if I had my way, I'd like to see them play together. Not if I had my way. If everything stacks up, I'd like to see them play together. Because I've also said before that Marco's probably not your ideal number 7, but a really good number 8, if that makes any sort of sense. And Vian adds that real balance to our side, and that all-rounder role is a critical role. And what I've really liked about him, and it started in the West Indies, where his bowling has come on in leaps and bounds. He's bowling a lot quicker with a great measure of control. He can bowl with a new ball. He's nice and aggressive. He catches brilliantly at slip, and he starting to show signs with the bat that we know that he's capable of. And I think not that security is never going to be a word that you use in cricketing circles, but I think the backing brings the best out of Vian. And he's a vital cog in our side, not only here, but going forward as well. But again, it's always going to be around the conditions we play on, Stewie, whether we're going to play 7 out-and-out batters with Marco at 8, or whether we play Vian as the all-rounder at 7 and still Marco at 8. And I'm not a fan of, I don't think there's such a thing as a bowling all-rounder and a batting all-rounder. You're either an all-rounder or you're not. So and I think Vessi's very close to that genuine all-rounder. He might not reach he probably won't reach the heights of previous all-rounders that we've had, but he's certainly a vital cog in this team.
Thanks, Stu. We're going to look to take the follow-up questions before we wrap the media up. We'll start with Nathan.
Thank you again, Lucy. Just give me a minute, I just want to look at the question again. Based on Scholesy, Scholesy had to batter to get back into the test squad, then scores a century in subcontinent conditions. Not easy. Yeah, jokingly, Bedders even made a joke about him being out there in the heat. Special moment for Scholesy.
Yeah, huge for him. And he ribs me every now and again, for the holiday I imposed on him over the West Indies series. But I think, and that's what we often need. We want to see. We want to see guys that deal with adversity the way Kyle has, and he certainly has come out here and played one of the best knocks in the subcontinent. He employed a certain way that he wanted to play the spin, and he backed it. But it speaks volumes for his not only his ability to with the bat, but really his mentality, and that's the biggest thing you're going to get with Kyle. I think it helps that his dad, in inverted commas, in Ashwell is in the change room, because they've come a long way. And you look at Scholes' prep leading into this test match, you almost could place a few bob on that he was going to do well, because and behind the stumps as well. And I think guys are finding the feet. They're finding that they're in a more settled situation, a settled position now. I think the team, all of us, we've now settled on a group of guys that we feel can take us forward. Doesn't mean that they're not going to be the odd change along the way, but yeah, it was great from Scholesy.
Thanks, Nathan. Johan?
Shuks, PT was a bit pricey, but do you think they sort of look to hit him or to take him on and sort of hit him or out of his lengths?
Yeah, look, that was always going to, and you almost, we almost planned for that. PT would be the first one to admit that he wasn't only pricey, but he wasn't very good. But it doesn't make him a bad bowler, you know. I mean, good batters get low scores, have a run of low scores. Good bowlers have bad spells and bad games. But it doesn't turn PT into a poor bowler. But they certainly, we knew that they were going to target him, especially in a four-man frontline bowling attack where it's probably easier to target the off spinner as a right-hander with the ball spinning into you. But yeah, look, it's one of those days, and he's experienced enough to deal with it and come back stronger. And yeah, at the end of the day, guys have bad games. And at the end of the day, as long as the result's a W and not an L, then we're happy.
Cool. We're just going to go for those. Then we'll look to go with Percival. And then
Shuks, I'll probably ask you again closer to the home summer, but you've just spoken about like preparing home conditions that maybe then backfire on your own team. And obviously with subcontinent teams coming, and we know from history we might try and look at like really spicy wickets, but is that the kind of thing you want to see happen in order to beat them, or would you want some kind of more even conditions, because obviously your own batters also need runs?
We just want good conditions. We want good wickets. And we want wickets that are synonymous and what you expect at the ground. So you have a pretty good idea of what Centurion's going to throw up. We just want good wickets. We actually spoke about it the other day, myself, Temba, around if there was a message to go back to South Africa, we want good wickets. Our batters, inexperienced batters, we showed, again, we can get hundreds. When conditions are good for batting, we can get hundreds. So for those, there'll be no special message going back home about spicy wickets, etc., etc. We want good wickets because we believe that with our bowling attack, they're good enough to bowl on any surface. And you're right when you say we need runs as well, because you can have the world's best bowling attack if you've got no runs to bowl to. They also almost rendered obsolete, you know. So yeah, we want good wickets. I speak too much.
Thanks for those. I see Stu has popped a question in the chat panel just asking if there is an update on Temba.
Yes, there is an update today. In fact, yesterday was always going to be the day where we were going to make the decision based on his medical condition. So there was a plan, there was a program that he was following. And no, we didn't wait for the result. We just feel medically he's not going to be ready for the second test. And we'll tone down the program so that he can be ready for the Sri Lankan series. So Temba's out for the second test, unfortunately.
Thanks, Stu. We'll look to go.
Is he staying there?
I don't know how that's important for those. I actually don't know yet. I haven't asked him.
Like, is he coming home or is he?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'll check with him, but that's yeah, I don't know. That's Temba's prerogative together with the manager. I'd like him to stay, and I've communicated that with him. But I also know that he's got a young family. But yeah, I'd like him to stay. He still plays a valuable role. It's still his team. And we'll see how it unfolds. But yeah, something we haven't even spoken about too much.
Thanks for those. And then we'll look to conclude with Percival with the Afrikaans questions.
Actually, baie dankie, Lucy. Lucy, I've just got two questions. Good, that's it, Coach. If that's okay with you, ma'am?
Sure.
Thank you so much, Lucy. Coach Shukri, eerstens soos al my collega's gesê het, baie geluk meneer. Coach, kan ek net vra? Twee maklike vrae. Ek het gepraat in Engels van julle kan nie te oorgerus op julle laurels rus nie meneer. Hoe benader julle dan hierdie volgende toets? Jy praat van julle is die underdogs. As julle nou die underdogs in die tweede toets?
Ja, ek is seker as Engelse woorde, Afrikaanse woorde vir laurels en underdogs Percy. Nee, ek spot maar dankie vir jou gelukwense. Ja, soos ek vir Mark vroeër gesê het, ek dink nie ons is nou sulke underdogs nie. Ek dink hulle verwag dat ons weer 'n goeie vertoning gaan insit en ek dink ons verwag dit van ons, maar ons gaan definitief nie te wind gaat wees in terme van is net 'n geval van opdaag en dan wen nie. Ons weet dit gaan 'n moeilike taak wees. Ons weet die atmosferiese kondisies gaan moeilik wees. Ons weet die blad gaan 'n moeilike een wees en ons sal weer ons beste cricket moet speel om 'n goeie uitslag te kry.
Coach Conrad, laastens dan jy verwys na ons kan praat oor Kyle se goeie vertoning in daai eerste toets, maar jy verwys na jou bowler as 'n Rolls-Royce meneer. Ek wil vir jou vra, kan jy na Kagiso verwys as 'n generaal van jou span? Wat beteken dit vir iemand van sy kaliber in jou span te hê en die mylpaal wat hy die afgelope toets behaal het daar in die eerste toets?
Ja, kyk, as jy kyk na die mylpaal en die statistiek, is hy die beste in die wêreld wat dit behaal het. So ons kan nie genoeg sê daarvan nie. As hy 'n generaal, hy's alles. As die ouens 'n bietjie af is hy die ou wat agter die ouens inklim en ouens opg. As die tye moeilik is hy die persoon wat die bal wil hê. So ja, hy's alles in ons span, maar hy weet ook dat ander ouens in die span ook sulke vertonings kan bring en dis presies wat ons probeer doen om die res van die bouaanval vir die res van die groep te weet dat ouens soos Kagiso, daar sit baie ouens in ons groep wat ook sulke groot performances kan bring. Jy het gesê 2 vrae. Afrikaans is op hier.
Ek vra nie om verskoning coach. Kan ek vra, jy het gesê jy baie graag jou kaptein moet bly daar. Is dit 'n rugslag vir jou as 'n kaptein en 'n span om nie jou gereelde kaptein beskikbaar te hê nie?
Ja, enige span as jy nie sy kaptein het, is dit 'n rugslag. Hy's ons beste speler, Kolber. So ja, is dit 'n rugslag, maar ons het gewys en ons het bewys dat ons met rugslag kan deel en ons sal met dit ook deel.